J World soon as I land. Running up the yen, me and Nick count grand. Tokyo.
Dragon Ball Super Superhero has actually made its box office debut in the U.S. This past weekend. I am coming fresh out of the theater. I saw it in the English dub. I'm actually going to go see the English sub tomorrow. But today I'm actually going to be doing my comprehensive review on the film. I'm not going to make this too long or anything, but I'm just thinking my quick overall thoughts and what I liked, I disliked, all that good stuff. So, start off with what I liked, man. Obviously, you have Piccolo at the forefront of the film. Piccolo was probably, I don't want to say carrying the movie, but definitely he was a special ingredient. He was the salt and pepper of this film, definitely. He was very integral to the plot. Even the first fight in the film really was, Gamma 2 trying to approach Piccolo or jump Piccolo, however you want to say it. And his interaction with Gamma 2 is actually pretty funny. It was interesting to see that Piccolo was like, why am I seeing his sound effects? That was actually kind of comical because I thought it was just a stylistic choice. But no, they have a whole explanation for it that it's like it's generated through Gamma 2 or whatever. Like they show it in one of the credits, or not the credits, but they show it when they're all talking in the lab. I do like, Piccolo. I love Chris Sabat's performance as well as Piccolo. I always love hearing his voice, that, stoic, very, not flat, but very kind of like brooding. Not as much as a Vegeta, like not as like over dramatic as Vegeta, but very, very clean. I love his performance. I will say, I was expecting a little more Pan. I was expecting more Pan. They kind of use Pan as a plot device. And her learning to fly, I mean, that is good. I like seeing that. But I don't know, man. I wish I would have wanted more slice of life moments. Like we saw Videl like through Piccolo's phone, but we didn't see Videl interact with Pan at all. I mean, we saw Pan interact with Gohan once, it was a little jarring. But I do love seeing Pan on screen. Kind of weird that Pan learned to fly because she flew in one of the Dragon Ball Super episodes, but she was a baby. She might not have remembered. I mean, I barely remembered, but I'm not really too worried about it. Gohan, seeing Gohan back in action, obviously that's a treat as well. Seeing Gohan kind of start taking things seriously, and he was getting worked by Gamma 1. It was actually very interesting to see Gamma 1 go up against Gohan, and they gave that line, oh, he learns as he fights, the same thing they said to Broly. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, they were I would say Gamma 2 is probably my favorite character throughout the entire film, consistently, even more so than Gohan. I'm a huge Gohan fanboy, but Gamma 2 is just so fun to see him on screen. And his dub actor was going crazy, man. I mean, he was fantastic. I really hope he gets so much more work, man. He was probably I want to say the best, but I say he's actually the best standout performance in there. He might be. I might give it to Gamma 2, man. I mean, Kyle Hebert, or however you say his last name, he was great as adult Gohan. He's been great as adult Gohan. Obviously, Chris Sabat. But I don't know, man. He was going nuts, especially when like he did that dive from the atmosphere at Cell Max. That was crazy. Gamma 1, I'm not sure who does his voice either, but he was fantastic as well. Dr. Hito and Magenta, they're okay villains. They're not anything too crazy. Them making, like the descendants of the original Red Ribbon Army, felt a little contrived. Like Dr. Hito being Jiro's grandson and Magenta being Red's son. It's just all kind of. It's like I would much rather them not come from like relating to any villains. Kind of like Zamasu, like was just his own thing. It was kind of, I would rather like that, or like Jiren, like his own thing. Like he didn't relate to any other antagonists. I would rather that. Well, which will bring my point to Cell Max later. But the action in the movie was fantastic. The fight scenes were very well done, but I will say that in the beginning shots, like that first like opening shot where it's like them in the car looks awful. I was, I made my trailer reaction about a year or so ago. I streamed it, and I said that I was a little nervous. I was cautiously optimistic with how the CGI looked in the film. I think when it worked extremely well. When it didn't work, it was bad. I would say it looked pretty bad. I don't nothing really. The second half of the film looked like bad to me, except Beast Gohan from the side. Beast Gohan from the side is so cursed. It's like seeing Phineas from Phineas and Ferb like looking forward. Like it's so uncanny because his hair is so long and there's no movement with it. Is what's really weird. I think Beast Gohan when he's like 2D animated is gonna look better because he'll have movement with his hair and everything. But it's weird because it doesn't go down. It just goes straight up and lengthens. Like Super Saiyan 3. It's like if Super Saiyan 3 if the hair just went completely vertical. It's just it was very odd looking. But from the front it looks completely fine. Beast Gohan, I mean, like, I'm not mad at it. I love obviously Dragon Ball. It's all forms and recipes for merch and all that good stuff. I'm not worried about it. I love seeing new shit in Dragon Ball, but it was a little. No one mentions it. Like it's really weird. Like I don't know, man. I understand that people love seeing the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct, blah blah blah. But like with this form, it's just like where did this come from? It was like Super Trunks, or excuse me, Dragon Ball Super Trunks, like in the Future Saga arc, where he just has that form that's like a blend. It's like Super Saiyan Rage that Dokkan refers to it as, where he has like the Super Saiyan like outer aura, but in the inner aura, it's the blue form. It's very weird. They don't mention that either. I don't know. They've made statements that hybrid Saiyans have a higher potential for power than pure Saiyans, but I don't know. I'm not gonna obviously don't think about it too much. It's Dragon Ball. It's not that deep. But I don't know. It felt a little weird to me. Piccolo with his like potential unleashed form and Orange Piccolo. I like seeing Orange Piccolo. I don't know, man. I don't really know how I feel about it because it's like we have Piccolo, and I'm not mad at Piccolo for doing this. It was an emergency situation. They couldn't get Goku or Vegeta. But Piccolo wishing for more power just felt kind of out of character to me. It really did. And I don't know. I don't hate it. You know what I mean? I loathe it or anything like that. But it's just like, I feel like Piccolo, I feel like would just rather die. Like, I won't say rather die, but just it's a little over dramatic. But I feel like Piccolo would much rather just find another way or just like, I can't do it. I gotta be better. I gotta be better than I was yesterday. Then rather just wish for immediate power because he can't beat this foe that whooped him an hour ago. You know what I mean? It felt very weird. Then having Orange Piccolo as well was just kind of I don't know. Orange Piccolo's cool. Orange Piccolo's cool, and seeing him go giant like he did against Goku in the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai was cool. But it's like I'm not a power scaler by any means. I'm not gonna power scale any of this because we start getting into some really weird territory. But I don't know, man. It didn't jive with me as much as I would want to. It just felt like they got to give Piccolo a new form to catch up to all the other ones. None of it is bad or egregious as Ultra Ego. I would much rather take Beast Gohan Ultra over. I would much rather take Beast Gohan over Ultra Ego any day because I've made my comments on that form before. Ultra Ego was a trash transformation. But I don't know. I definitely do think that there were some really weird statements made in this movie, man. Like Vegeta talking about how Jiren wasn't that much stronger than him. He still had a fight efficiency, just flat out felt wrong. It was false. Like Jiren knocking Goku's blue Kaioken spirit bomb away with his eyes or whatever, his ki. That just felt, Jiren was so clowning on Goku and Vegeta throughout the Tournament of Power the entire time he was on screen. It wasn't really until, Goku hit UI that he really gave Jiren a run for his money. And even then in UI sign, Jiren wasn't really pressed. He was just like, he's like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like Evolution Blue Vegeta wasn't working Jiren either. Like he was taking them both at the same time. You know what I mean? Like that didn't make sense. Also, Goku making fun of Vegeta for meditating, which I like. What? Like Goku, like this is a completely random source, but like go to like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the first like 10 minutes of the game, like the tutorial where Goku is a mental image training with Piccolo. Like it's just like that doesn't make sense. Like Goku's been meditating since he was a kid. He knows how to meditate. You know what I mean? Like I don't know why they included that in the film. It's very weird. Like if they had like Goku say something else, like "Oh, Vegeta, like, get up and fight me" or whatever, like it didn't feel as bad because in English dub, Goku's like, "Oh, you let your body rot" or something. He said, but I don't know, man. It felt very out of character. Also, when Gohan talks about how he doesn't know if Cell Max would have lost against Goku and Vegeta, that felt kind of odd too, because it's like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, you and Piccolo are getting worked. We also you know how strong Goku and Vegeta are. Actually, he really doesn't, because this technically takes place after the Granola arc. It's a very loose canon. Don't think too hard into it. But you know, like no, Goku and Vegeta definitely would not have struggled that much against Cell, but I guess it also depends how the writers are feeling that day. Now, I very easily could see some people saying that Beast Gohan is stronger than Blue Vegeta and Goku, or I could see some people saying that Beast Gohan is stronger than Blue Gogeta, which I really, really, really hope not. That definitely feels unearned, but nah, man. It felt very weird. This film, I don't hate this film by any means. I actually really, really like the movie. But there's just some really weird decisions in there. Shenron giving Piccolo like his potential Unleashed form and Orange Piccolo, they didn't say anything about that either. The dragon was like, "Oh, here's more and a little extra, hint, hint, wink, wink." Like, why? You know what I mean? Just like why? Like, why would it like, I guess Shenron has his own personality too. Like, you know, when Piccolo summons him, he's like, "He who has summoned me." Oh, hey, Piccolo. Like, I get they have history, but I don't know, man. That was just kind of weird. I guess. I mean, Piccolo being Kami for so long, I mean, he might have really positive relationship with Shenron, so he might be able to do that. It's just very, very weird because Shenron is typically like a he's very impartial being. Like, he's like a genie. Like, it didn't. Like, I feel like he wouldn't do that with Frieza. You know what I mean? Like, if Frieza or like Gas like asked for like extra power or like their potential to be unleashed, I don't think Shenron would be like, "Oh, I unlocked your potential and a little more." Like, it's kind of weird. But I wouldn't think about it too much. I'm thinking about it a little too much as well. But I did like it. I like the fight scene between Goku and Vegeta. I like seeing them throw hands. They mentioned that Vegeta's his fighting style was different, and it definitely was. He wasn't as aggressive as he usually was. He was more on the defensive end when he was fighting Goku, just trying to avoid getting hit, which is weird because he has Ultra Ego in his back pocket now. And he also has that Spirit Fission technique that they're never going to bring back. I know for a fact they're not going to bring that technique back ever again, just because it's Dragon Ball. And hopefully Toyotaro doesn't pick up from Toriyama's bad habits and forget, but I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. But that was fun seeing them. I wanted to see more Broly. I definitely wanted to see more Broly. I get Broly was kind of like a cameo. I know it wasn't about him. But Broly's hype, man. Broly is definitely a hype character. Love seeing him. Johnny Young Bosch as Broly doing a fantastic job. He has like 6 lines in the film. I did like what I heard though. His scream when he was going against Goku, that sounded good. And I'm used to it because I played fighters for a little bit of time, so I'm used to hearing his screams. But those are very good. Seeing Chilai and Lemo, that was fun to see them too. Beerus having a crush on Chilai is actually pretty. That was a pretty well when it was put up for laughs. Actually, I thought that was pretty funny. But adult Goten and Trunks, man, that was very interesting to see. Kind of hard to gauge how strong they are now. Goten in his like martial arts uniform, you could say that he's training, and I would assume that Trunks is training too. Obviously, he's Vegeta's kid. But like the failed, Gotenks fusion, the fat Gotenks, I mean, we've seen that before. Like, it didn't really like make me laugh or anything because we've seen it already. You know what I mean? Multiple times over at this point. So it just wasn't a lot. They also teased just adult or teen Gotenks at the end of the movie when Pan's like flying around. They should do the fusion correctly, but we don't see it. So I don't think that's indicative of like, oh, the next film is gonna be Goten and Trunks based or anything like that. I don't think so. But yeah, Cell Max, man, as a villain, what a lot of people hate Cell Max. I don't hate Cell Max. I'm really tired of them redoing like previous villains, man. I'm really tired of it. Like, so Battle of Gods, that was Beerus, and Beerus, obviously, it's not Dragon Ball Super, but you know what I mean. He was original, original creation. So was Whis, Oracle Fish, all of them. Resurrection F, Frieza. We had done Frieza by this point. Then Broly, from 20 years ago, we knew who Broly was. Now this is a redone version of Broly. Cell Max, redone version of Cell. You know what I mean? It's a completely different character, obviously, because it's just a different Cell. Like, this isn't the Cell that got blown into the sun by Gohan during the Cell games. But I would much rather them make an original villain. The only exception to this rule is Cooler. I really, really like Cooler, and I feel like if they apply themselves, they could actually find a way to put Cooler into the story effectively. I think. I mean, because, Frieza has his black form or whatever now, Black Frieza. I don't know if we saw like Platinum Cooler, hey, you got no complaints from me, man. I love Cooler, I love his voice actor, I love seeing Cooler on screen. I think he's awesome. But like characters like Janemba, you know what I mean? Janemba's okay. Final, Super Janemba, it's cool seeing him. I almost said Final Janemba, but Super Janemba, he's kind of cool because his abilities, but like, Cell Max, man, it's just like, he's just a giant kaiju. He's nothing special. I mean, replace Cell Max with Harudegarn. You know what I mean? Obviously, take that away the Tapion stuff, but like, put Harudegarn in Cell Max's place, and you get pretty much the same story. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, Cell Max just being like a screaming monster, like an abomination. They had him as second form Cell's design, which was interesting because he actually like used the wings on his back when he was like trying to like launch that like death ball, whatever, at Gohan. That was weird because from what I recommend, Cell would just fly. He never like flew with his wings. You know what I mean? So that was actually interesting to see. I like seeing that. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Cell Max is not a great villain. Game wise, I don't know how they're gonna put him in the games. He's probably gonna be like in Ultimate Tenkaichi, we have those big boss battles like Metal Cooler and Great Vegeta. He's probably gonna play like that. I doubt Cell Max is gonna be in any video games because like Harudegarn is on any playable video game except like Budokai Tenkaichi. He's not like in Fighters or some shit. He's not in Xenoverse. I don't think. No, Harudegarn's not in Xenoverse. But we're definitely waiting on all these superhero characters come into the video games. I would love to see Gamma 1 and 2 get a really, really top tier unit in Dokkan. I love, obviously, they're gonna have, Orange Piccolo, they're gonna have Beast Gohan, Super Saiyan Gohan. They're obviously gonna have them as premium characters in Dokkan as well. So I mean, that's not really an issue either. But yeah, man, just moving forward, I'm really curious to see what they do because, like, I think Gohan already learned this lesson. When he was training for the Tournament of Power, and Goku was like, "Damn, man, like, what happened? Like, why? Like, what are you doing?" And Gohan was like, "Oh, I've been training, but the Earth needs a new protector." Blah blah blah. Like, he already had this lesson. Why are we doing it again? You know what I mean? Like, it's very weird. I really hope that they learn from this and they actually continue and move the story forward. I hope Gohan actually takes the time to put training into his schedule or whatever. And also, it's kind of weird because Gohan was like, "Hey, can you pick Pan up from school? I haven't left my room in 3 days or whatever." It's kind of weird. It was like, you have a family. Like, I got that support. He has to support his family. I get it. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep. It was just kind of weird. It was just like, I don't know, but I did love seeing Gohan go crazy. He's like, "What did you do to Pan? And did you hurt her? If there's a scratch on her, you'll pay," or whatever. Like, I love seeing Savage Gohan, man. I love seeing Gohan, son of Goku. I love seeing that, man. I do. But just moving forward, I really hope they stay consistent, and it's probably not gonna happen because it's Dragon Ball. But I also just want like a new original villain. I want like a villain like kind of similar to like Gore from Thor, where it's like, and we've kind of had this concept with Zamasu. I just don't think it was executed in the right way. Where he's like the gods need to be done. Like, they need to be gone. You know what I mean? Like I mean like destroying realms. I mean like he could probably I'd rather like this villain just like leave the realms alone, like not even care about that, but just like every god of destruction clapped, gone. Like get him out, like get him out. And I get it's easier to go after the Kais, obviously. I understand that. But like I think it'd be really, really cool. If there's like some villain that just like was like, no, all these gods of destruction, they gotta go. You know what I mean? I also want to see Beerus fight again. You know, like dude, in the manga when Beerus was like fighting all those gods of destruction, dude, that was sick. That was so crazy. Actually, kudos to Taro for that. I think he did well with that. But yeah, man. So overall, man, I do enjoy this movie. Go see it. You know, have a good time. Don't think about it too hard, man. It's Dragon Ball. Just go. It's like the old Z movies. You know what I mean? Like Goku, like punch, like having everybody's energy, even though they're like super depleted and like one-shotting Broly. It's like, don't think about it too hard. It's a Dragon Ball movie. It's like when also like, you know, when Goku popped out of Otherworld and punched Bojack in the face. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's a Dragon Ball Z movie. Have fun. Don't think about it too hard. But overall, yeah, I did like this movie. I like Broly a little better because narratively I think it's a little tighter. You know, I'm not gonna talk about Bulma's, you know, superficial wishes or whatever. It's in character. They mention it. Who cares? But yeah, man. You know, I think that about wraps up my my thoughts on it, man. Definitely enjoy this movie. If you're a Gohan fan, if you're a Piccolo fan, you'll enjoy this. But yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Leave a like for more reviews, more Dragon Ball content, all that good stuff, man. And yeah, without further ado, it's my boy Daffy, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.